What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today we did see a mixed bag across the board in the stock market with a relatively flat day as we come into some very critical support levels. First up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright. So today in SPY we were down 0.61% and we did get that second day in a row closing below that critical support zone around 393. And we are coming very close to retesting the previous low right around 385. Now keep in mind, as we come back down to retest this low, there is the possibility we get this double bottom look and we start to get an impulsive bounce off of that support. But what you're more than likely looking for at this point will be the next leg lower, and the next leg lower will be right around 376 to 370. So in the event we start breaking down below 385, you do want to get ready to start seeing prices in the 370s. But if we do get that double bottom look off of 385, you will be looking for a bullish breakout back above 393 and getting back over 398. And then that tells us the bulls are fighting against the downtrend and trying to go for a bullish breakout. So if the bulls can get a bullish breakout, it is going to take a lot of buying pressure, and it still does seem like this is a buyer strike market. Normally when you get into a market that has a buyer strike, you need some type of news that causes buyers to step back into the market, or you need to get that full-blown capitulation and go down and find the liquidity by forcing longs out of their long positions. So in the event we get that capitulation, you will be looking for that price target down there at 370. But I continue to tell you the volume is dying off as we see a buyer strike because everybody has likely already sold and there is a lot of cash on the sidelines, and that cash will eventually come back into this market. So one thing I would caution you against is don't make the same mistake a lot of people made back here in the middle of March, where they were expecting SPY to come straight down to $400, but instead we got that double bottom look off of 416 and then got a very impulsive bull rally. You can see the same exact thing could be building up here again with 385, where a lot of people are expecting about another 5% downside, but that doesn't guarantee that we have to see it. So in the event we start to get that impulsive bounce off of this double bottom look, you will want to start thinking about the possibility that you need to buy into this market sooner rather than later. And you don't want to decide that on your long position, you want to go long way up here in the 430s. I'm not trying to tell you to FOMO in at these lows, but do consider that we may not actually go lower if we do get that double bottom look. Obviously, you'll need to follow price action, and the next bullish breakout will be getting back over about $400. So I continue to tell you it's a downtrend until it's not. So if you're accumulating for the long term, you still need to be prepared to buy lower in the event we do break down through support and go all the way down to 370. I still think you're going to have plenty of time to see the bull trend developing, even though we did get that very impulsive rally at the end of March. In this case, you are going to get some type of impulsive rally when the bulls are ready to buy back in, but you will still have the opportunity to buy the next higher low. So try not to get FOMO, just don't rule out the possibility we could go into a double bottom scenario here. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were down about 0.54%, and just like I said on SPY, it's the possibility we're coming back down to get this double bottom look off of around 285. If we break 285, your next downside price target's at 276.8 and 269.5, but there is no guarantee we have to go to this next leg lower because we have satisfied the downside price target around 285. So breaking down below 285 will be your price action that we're going to either 276 or 269. Otherwise, look for the potential of a double bottom, and a bullish breakout will be a close back above 305. On the way to 305, still look for resistance right around 297 and 303. And if we get above 305, you're still looking for very strong resistance at 318. Remember, these are downtrends until they're not, and the bullish breakout for the downtrend will be getting back over about 310. Jumping over to the Dow Jones, we were down 0.75%, and the Dow Jones did hit our price target down here right around 310.5. So this could be a bullish indication that we have now met all downside price targets on the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and now the Dow Jones. That doesn't guarantee we have to bounce from here, and that doesn't guarantee we won't go to the next leg lower at 308. But I am telling you that you will want to get a lot less bearish as we come into these strong support levels and we reach our downside price targets. No downtrend can last forever, and eventually there will be value at these levels and people will start buying back into the stock market, and we will see an end to the buyer strike. If there is going to be an end to the buyer strike, it is likely right around the corner at these critical levels, because I don't understand how you're going to see capitulation when everybody has already sold. You could see very low volume on days like today, and there's just not enough panic selling volume to get that full-blown capitulation. So if we start to bounce from here, you're getting a lot more bullish on a break above 326. And then we'll have very strong resistance right around 333. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were up 0.16% today, and we still are closing below this resistance at 178. and we still do have a gap to fill down here right around 172.6. If we fill that gap, we are likely going to continue to go lower to fill the next gap at 165.7, which is also our downside price target. So you could say the Russell 2000 still has more downside to go, and that means the market likely hasn't bottomed. And while that may be true, there is no guarantee the Russell 2000 has to go higher with the rest of the indices. So it's still possible we go close that gap to the downside, but we will be getting a lot more bullish if we start closing above 183 and above 191.5. So look for those upside bullish breakouts if we do find a higher low and start to bounce from here. Otherwise, you're continuing to respect the downtrend for that price target at 165. On the ARKK ETF, we were up 4.52% today, and ARKK did close back over the 5 EMA, and this is starting to look like a relatively small bull flag. So as long as we're trading above $40, I think you need to respect the fact that ARKK could be trying to come up and retest some of this upside resistance. So watch those key resistance levels at 47 and 52. We still have a gap to fill at 39, so it's still possible we go fill that gap. And if we break down below the previous low at 35, you're looking for the price target at 33.7. This is still a very strong bear market, so there is no reason to be getting bullish just because we had a green day. We are more than likely just putting in lower highs before we come down and hit that price target. On the VIX, we were down over 5% today, and the VIX did come up here and fill the gap at 31.7 and did start to get crushed after doing so. Overall, I do believe that is a bullish development, so I continue to caution you to not be getting overly bearish at support, and don't completely rule out the possibility we see some type of double bottom. There's no guarantee we will double bottom, and you'll know right away because the VIX will likely start spiking right back above 30, but for the time being, it is possible the VIX is trying to put in a lower high before it breaks down below 24, and below 24 will very likely be a bullish buy signal. So watch the VIX very closely at these levels, and please remember to remain cautious while the VIX is elevated above 24. On Bitcoin, we're currently up just over 5.5% with Bitcoin trading at $30,000, and it does look like we continue to bounce off of this support zone at 28,000, which if you've been following along, this is exactly what I expected to see. I continue to tell you that I believe Bitcoin will build a foundation of support right around 28,000, and the lowest we will likely go will be 25,000 because that's where we saw the demand zone of a very large buyer. Now, if I'm wrong, you still need to be prepared to buy at 20,000, but I think it's highly probable that we are going to get a bull rally off of 28,000 that takes us all the way back up to 37,000. Above 37,000, we'll get a bullish breakout above 40,000 and then above 42,000, but we still can't rule out the possibility with the strong bear trend that we are trying to go lower. But I do believe this will be a very strong support and not easily broken by the bears. On NVDA stock, we were up 1.1% today, and NVIDIA continues to get rejected around that resistance around 178, and we continue to close below the 5 EMA, and we still do have a bear trend. From here, you're getting a lot more bullish if we can hold above the previous low at 161. Otherwise, you're looking for that final leg lower that I do believe will be the bottom in this stock before earnings at 150. There's no reason to believe that earnings is not going to go well, so I do believe that could be the bottom in this stock, or we have already put in the bottom around 161, so things are looking a lot better in the longer term for NVIDIA stock. However, following price action means we can't get bullish until we get back over 183 and then all the way back above 210. So we need to respect the downtrend and the price action as long as we are below critical resistance levels. On Tesla stock, we were flat today, basically going absolutely nowhere, and we are holding above that previous low at $700, which does go hand in hand with what we'll likely see in the indices, where there is going to be a possibility that we double bottom. A double bottom from here means we need to come all the way back up and break above the 770s, and then we could have a very impulsive bull rally that could take us all the way back up to retest 900. So it is a downtrend until it's not, so if we do lose that support at 700, you're looking for the next leg lower down here right around 620, or retesting the previous intraday low, which is right around 680. Upside resistance will be at 762, 828, and 856. On Apple stock, we were down nearly 2.5% today, and Apple did hit our downside price target and did close the gap at 137, and we are getting extremely oversold on the biggest stock in the stock market. So with Apple being this oversold, it is absolutely a recipe for a dead cat bounce. Even though that doesn't guarantee we have to start going higher, it is very likely that a big stock like Apple is not going to stay oversold for long. So do look for a very strong bounce off of these support levels below, right around 137 and 134. There is a downside price target we could still reach at 130, but I do believe we will see a very strong bounce to much higher prices before we ever go that low. And we may not even go that low, so don't completely rule out the possibility that Apple just put a local bottom in today. We saw higher volume selling and we did reach the price target, so this is the perfect recipe that most people in Apple stock likely capitulated, and it's ready to start finally going higher from here. Upside resistance will be right around 143, 150, and 156, and we're getting a lot more bullish if we break above 156. On the financial sector, we were down 0.66% today, and we're coming down to retest the previous lows, and we still do have a strong bear trend, so get a lot more cautious if we break below the previous low at 32.4. On the industrials, we were down 0.9%, retesting the previous lows, and still with the bearish price action in the bear trend, so if we continue to break below the previous low at $90, get ready for that next leg lower. On the healthcare sector, we were up 0.22%, still holding above this support and the gap fill right around 127, but we still do have a bear trend. We'll be getting a lot more bullish if we can start getting back over the 50 EMA. On the energy sector, we were down 0.37%, closing back below the 5 EMA, but we still do have a bull trend. You can clearly see price action is chopping around a lot more as we reach 52-week highs, so it could be possible the energy sector is putting in a local top and due for a correction. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, this is definitely going to be very critical support zones that we're coming into to either retest the previous lows or make a next leg lower and hit our next downside price targets. While I don't necessarily think capitulation is on the table, you can never completely rule it out. So you still need to watch these very critical support zones, because if we do break below them, we will likely see the buyer strike continue until we can get to the next leg lower and find more buyers at lower prices. Eventually, the stock market is going to find that level that brings buyers back into this market, and I do expect it to be a very impulsive rally when we get there. So watch price action each and every day and make sure you know exactly what you're going to do no matter where we go from here, which includes breaking down to new lows or breaking out and getting a counter trend rally that takes us to higher prices. Have a plan, be disciplined, be patient, and use great risk management, and you should be doing just well in this volatile market. Also, don't forget that I do have Bank Trade Alerts, which is an algorithm-driven trade alert service that only trades the ETF TQQQ and sends you all of your buy and sell alerts directly via email and text message. Even in the bear market of 2008, Bank Trade Alerts beat the market and had a very positive return. If you're looking for more information or want to subscribe, you can click on the link in the description of this video. I also have the Stocks Channel Discord where I do intraday updates and analysis and bring new trade ideas to you weekly. If you're interested in joining the Stocks Channel Discord community, you can find out how to join the Discord server by clicking on the link below. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.